Aloha. Um, Welcome back. I was gonna. This is kind of like a part two to what the last video, what I was talking about. Oh, that's one of the embroidery images that I put together. This is over the plug. And dream space stuff too. This is a blanket from Cusco, Peru. I got one. I was down there in 2012. Telling stories, beautiful colors. It was one of my favorite pieces. Hmm. So I left off on waves. What was that wave talking about? I forgot exactly what it was talking about, but oh, okay. So balances, yeah, balance and um, hmm. So the stories that get hit on, yeah, war mentality, military industrial complex mentality, prison industrial complex mentality. All the mainstream stuff exists right now to hide at least 3 layers of other truths that exist beyond that. And that's all distraction magic. Every single thing that we see in the education system, on the TV, everything on the TV, everything on the bus stops, on the billboards, everywhere you look is a distraction from your empowered self. That's the main point. If you keep your focus every time you wake up in the morning on the city limits of your consciousness, then you will never be able to awaken your own kundalini, whether it's individually or collectively, and get into that space of empowerment where you are not controlled by uh, makeshift magic and bogus magicians and just yeah, it really is everywhere. It's from people talk a lot about NASA and everything, and the fact that NASA even exists, the whole storyline of going to the moon, everything, like how deep these stories go. So um, the main point of that is just to see how far all this stuff is gone. Like, we're still talking about we watch on the news, and we look around, we talk about stuff, and I don't have Facebook anymore, but I remember on Facebook you just talk about stuff like stuff that is part of a complex, and then that's the whole yeah, I can't believe I forgot. Yeah, the complex of focus, the city limits, and these city limits, racism exists in these city limits because racism is part of that city. It's like named racism, and the first city limits was named sexism, and that was way back in the days. And then later on, when they got good at sexism, they just went into creating another system of separation and division to control people. So once you control the birthers of this material realm, the beautiful stargate women, the feminine, divine feminine frequency, once you shut that down with an ism, all these isms is full of shit, all of them, all the isms, get all them isms out of there. But the ismness is like the nothing in the never-ending story, like this hurricane. It just goes around and just destroys everything and leaves a nothing. And then when that nothing gets done soaking the land for its energy and soaking the people for their energy, then it moves on to the next energy hub. So the first energy hub was to control this realm was to create an idea of separation between the male and the female, and the masculine and feminine energies on this whole planet through the consciousness of humanity. So take these stories first of all and shut them down. Take all these. You got to take all these artifacts that were on the grounds on the planet before they were stuck underneath some museum in Great Britain or UC Berkeley or wherever they're putting this stuff. This stuff is everywhere, and it's everywhere except in front of us on purpose, because if we figure this stuff out, that inherently removes the power from these, or the illusory power from these money changers and old head magicians. So we got some old head magicians. Yeah, musicians too. That's everything. It's everywhere. Music. I was saying, talking to my family yesterday, talking about how we haven't even been allowed to hear the actual music of the people of this planet. We haven't even been allowed, say again, we haven't even been allowed to hear the music of the people of this planet. Like the depths of the music of the people of this planet, because we've been stuck in. An easy example would be to see somebody whose only understanding of music is BET and MTV and VH1, and that's their only connection to what music is and what the origins of music and everything. Not even understand going into the history of music and all this frequency and vibration. That's another story. That's another part of the subconscious layer of controlling. But the main thing is that I'm talking about, right? I want to stay on topic is the arts and the colors and the curves of humanity that get forcefully straightened out by people who want to control. And everything gets bland. You know, once you turn a circle into a square, you know, you're losing something. You're losing something. So, the psyche of destroying the circle of our balance, our humanity, our connections, the actual the realm that we exist in before any light came into being, you had to at first have a material field existing out there, and that material, that matriarchal field that exists needs to be shut down if you're going to control people, to divide, just like the countries and the oceans and the culture and or the so-called culture, the so-called cultures, splitting everything up, shutting everything down, taking energy, taking music, actual essence. Just like in the music industry, they'll take actual musicians who put their heart and soul into it, and then completely remove a lot of the essence, or add in a lot of subconscious layers of control and disempowerment. It's like, give your power away. Not only, and there's no way you can be empowered, because we exist. You can hustle as much as you want, but you're still gonna be hustling inside of our world. That's how that mentality is, to control people. And it's infective. It's like a virus. It goes around, and then we start policing ourselves. We start policing each other. We start spreading this guilt complex around because we don't understand the depths of our own existence. So these old stories that get passed from grandparents to great grandparents to grandparents to parents to kids to parents to kids to parents to kids forever, over and over again. You can create a system of control. So back on the topic of the first system of control was to shut down the power of the feminine, and we are seeing that now. You see just a world covered with patriarchal programs and patriarchal, just penises built everywhere. Everywhere you look, it's just a phallic symbol or a phallic representation. And not only that, but it's a total beating down of the feminine aspect at the same time. You can't have one without the other, because then it'll be too obvious. So you gotta also beat it down to keep it down. So that's the main story going on. And the fact that exists is enough for an entire planet to be like, you know what, hold up, stop the press, fuck all this stuff, stop, what the fuck is going on here, what the hell are we doing, and what the hell are we not doing? And these people who are making these rules and continuing to pass on these mentalities of self-destruction through stuff like the television and the radio and the internet and Facebook and all these other things out there. And we get too focused on, a lot of the times we get focused on the actual content of the matter, when that's not even the deepest, that's not even the first layer of the deepest layers of programming that's there, because it's the fact that a lot of these stories and storylines, the storylines that exist, period, and that we're talking about them, we're activating them at a particular time. So when Facebook puts out a story, and I say Facebook is because Facebook is aware. If they are aware of each individual's likes and dislikes, information and all the information, then they are aware of the trending stuff that's all over the planet. They are aware of the free energy information that's out there. They are aware of the connecting stories that are out there. They are aware of all this other stuff, and then they filter, just like a television does, or an idea. It filters out what is gonna destroy their illusion and replaces that space with a mentality, like, for example, a patriarchal program. So it's like a double down. So these double downs, these double down worlds that exist everywhere is the distraction. So we're stuck in like a double down distraction world, and we get like bickering back and forth about it, when forever that exists at every moment, all the time, that always exists is the truth, the actual story, the compassionate center of whatever it is that anybody is talking about. That always exists. So the bickering back and forth between whoever it is, on the galactic scale, to the people running the White House, to family matters, all this is separation. I'm not saying we're not going to have arguments and all this stuff. There's a difference between the flow and the essence of interaction and communication and relationship and humanity. There's always that balance there. That's the spice. That's actually the essence of this dance that we are, the bridge. This dancing bridge realm. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of beautiful lightness and beautiful darkness that exist in this realm, in us, that we exist as, and are the gods of. Little G's. And people are realizing it now, and it's very dangerous to so-called controllers or so-called politicians, everybody who has created an illusion, a story of power or control over somebody else, and then when that system starts to crash, they get very scared, and they'll continue to keep creating sub stories to distract people and keep that story, those old stories going. But these kids are waking up inside of the older crews, and the young kids are already hip to their game. So I'll end it on that note for this video. But thank you for joining me, and until next time, peace, love, and harmony.